Hi everybody, welcome back. Day 2 of the videos. Okay, so today we're going to finish up with the triangles. Apparently the vocab video didn't come out very well yesterday. It was just a short version, so I'm going to fix that. Alright, so remember right before we talked about triangles, we talked about polygons just a little bit, and we will more later. But a polygon is a closed-in shape with at least 3 sides. So the triangle is the most simple polygon that we have. Alright, so just remember polygon is a closed-in shape with at least 3 sides. So we're going to start out with our basic parts of our triangle. We've got 3 sides, or 3 segments, because remember a segment always has an endpoint, and technically each one of these places is an endpoint. Now these endpoints are also known as a vertex. So a triangle has 3 vertexes. A triangle also has 3 angles. Okay? So triangle has 3 vertexes on each corner and has 3 angles inside. So these are interior angles. Remember exterior versus interior, these are interior angles. Okay. So that's our basic parts. We have 3 sides. Okay. So now we're going to go over our triangles again. So remember, we'll start out with the cute one, little tiny, put it in your pocket. It's acute because it's small. So I've got my triangle here, and an acute triangle. So acute triangle. The definition is every angle is less than 90 degrees. So every single angle, even if this is 88 and, 72, and 20, okay? They're all going to be less than 90 degrees. Okay, so that's an acute angle. So we would add up all these to make sure we equal 180. So we've got 82, or 88 plus 72 plus 20. There's our 10, 16, 180. Okay, because every triangle is 180 degrees total. So finally I gave you one of these. Use the extra eraser. Finally I give you one angle. You would take 180 minus 88 minus 20. And that would give you the 72. Okay? Alright, so that's our acute angle. Now remember, with any of these videos, you can always hit pause. You can write down what I write down. You can just go back and just keep writing. And every time you write it down, that is another way for you to memorize it. Just keep working on memorization. Because some of these things, it's not necessarily, 2 plus 2 or 2 plus 3. It's not something that you can work on and figure out. It's just something you need to know. Alright, so next we're going to do an obtuse angle. Obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle. So we have our obtuse triangle with one obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is an angle from 90 to 180 degrees. So I'm going to say this is 110 degrees. So this is my one obtuse angle within, because it's inside, it's within my obtuse triangle. It is called an obtuse triangle because it has one obtuse angle inside of it. Okay, so same way to figure out the other angle. So 180 minus 110 is 70. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to say 35 and 35. Okay? The important part of an obtuse triangle, though, is that one angle is an obtuse angle, so it is between 90 and 180 degrees. It is not less than 90, it is not more than 180. It really shouldn't be more than 179, but when you get really tiny. So, there's our obtuse triangle. Alright, next up, isosceles. We're going to go isosceles. An isosceles triangle has two congruent angles. So this is our isosceles triangle. It has two congruent angles. Now what do we know about congruent angles? Congruent angles are the same. Congruent meaning the same. So they have two identically matching, the same, however you want to say it, angles. Okay? What else did we learn about angles? Angles correspond to the sides, right? So if I have two matching angles, then I have two matching sides. Remember, we have our little hash marks, so we know they match. We know they're the same length. We know from this endpoint to this endpoint is equal to this endpoint and this endpoint. They're the same size. So if I said this one was 2, this one's 2. If I said this was 200, this one's 200. It doesn't matter how it is. Okay? So that is our isosceles triangle. Next, we'll go for a right triangle. A right triangle means that it creates one 90-degree angle. Remember our little square? That little square means 90 degrees. 90 degrees. And our little circle means 90 degrees. Okay, so this angle measures 90 degrees. This one's going to be 45, and this one's going to be 45. Good? So this is a right triangle. Right triangle. Okay. Next up, we'll do our equal. Equal angular. Equal angular. So our equal angular triangle, equal angular, has equal angles. Alright? Okay. So these are all equal. Equal angles equal angular. Now if they were equal sides, so if I had even sides, if all the sides were the same, it would be equilateral. Okay? Now, a big difference that we want to remember is this last word triangle versus angle, like what we did before. So if it's an angle, there's two rays coming together. So remember, it starts at my marker and it goes out any direction at once, but it starts at my marker. I cut my finger earlier, so I keep bleeding. Okay. So next we're going to do that sailing triangle that was on the assignment today in class. Now remember, it means that every angle is different. So I'm going to say this one is 50 and this one is 90. No, 95. Sure. No, I don't want to do that. That's too big. Okay, so this one's 50. This one's going to be 80. And we'll say this one is 52. No. You're doing this wrong. Pay no attention to the girl in the background. Okay, so we have our triangle. And we have three sides. So I'm going to say this one is 60. This one is 70. So that is 120, 130. So this one's going to be 50. Okay, better now. So none of our angles are equal, which means none of our sides are equal. If the angles aren't equal, then the sides aren't equal. I'm sorry, that was a little confusing. I confused myself there for a moment. We all know that happens. Okay. Alright. So that's our angles. So that's all our triangles. So we've gone through all of our triangles. Now we're going to do a couple of those formulas, and then I'll go into practice problems in the next video. So I'm going to do perimeter. So remember, the perimeter is the total of the sides. So if I said this is 5, and this is 10, and this is 11, then I'm going to add up all of my sides. 5 plus 10 plus 11 is 26. So my perimeter is 26. So it's side plus side plus side equals the perimeter. Okay? Side plus side plus side is the perimeter. So you think of someone walking around the perimeter of a building. They're not walking all around inside it. They're just walking along the edges. So a perimeter of any shape at all is always the total of the edges. Total edges. Okay. One more, we'll do area. So we're going to do the area of the triangle. So here we have our triangle. Now remember, the bottom part is called the base. So this section right here is called the base. And then I've got my imaginary line here, which is H. So base is little b, height, H is height. And that's from my base to the tip of my triangle. Now my area formula is 1/2 base times height. So if I tell you the height is 7 and the base is 2, then I'm going to take 1/2 times 7 times 2. 1/2, because the area right here, so this tells me, so all I have to do is plug in what I give you. Okay, so plug in, base is 2, height is 7, and go at it. So right here, so my answer is 7. The area of this triangle, value of 7. Okay, so that's all for this one. I know it was kind of, scattered everywhere, but hopefully that was still helpful. If not, I'll make another one tomorrow. But now we're going to go into prepping for the quiz tomorrow, and then I'll try to do some old school ones. Okay? Alright? Hopefully that was helpful. Bye, guys.